Next, let's square up trans rights. Transgender New Hampshire teens can play sports while challenging ban. A federal judge ruled that two transgender girls, Parker Tirrell, 15, and Iris Turmelle, 14, from New Hampshire, can continue playing on girls' school sports teams, while they challenge a new law banning them from doing so. U.S. District Court Chief Judge Landya McCafferty issued a preliminary injunction in favor of these trans girls who sued to overturn the Fairness in Women's Sports Act signed by Republican Governor Sununu in July. McCafferty found the girls likely to win their case, saying they demonstrated a likelihood of irreparable harm without the injunction. She wrote, quote, "There is no indication in the record that plaintiffs' participation in school sports has caused the state or anyone else the slightest modicum of harm," end quote. The case marks part of a growing national debate on transgender rights. Sununu had argued that law ensures fairness and safety in women's sports, a view shared by other Republican-controlled states that have enacted similar bans. However, the lawsuit contends that the ban violates constitutional and federal protections by discriminating against the girls based on their gender identity. Michael Garrity, a spokesperson for the New Hampshire Attorney General's office, said the state is reviewing the ruling and considering the legal options to maintain its commitment to student welfare. The court case will likely go to trial after December when Turmelle plans to join her school's winter track team. It almost seems as if like the conservatives are more focused on the transgender side of things and like schools, like the school sports and women, trans girls and trans women in girls sports. I just feel as if like it's kind of just like a niche, like something that they really need to take their eyes off of and like just continue on with their day. Because it's like, so like, why are you so obsessed with the trans women and women's sports, especially in the schools and like, you know, high school?
I needed them to keep that same energy they have up against transgender on school shootings. Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy you have to fight for their rights, fight for the lives of all students, because they're going to school having to do school shooting drills. That should be what I focus on, not whether these kids can play in sports or not. Like, and you're an adult, so like, why are we, like, why is it so that important to you that you have to take this up as a cause when there are more pressing issues? Like school nutrition, seatbelts on school buses, like things like that can be something that you can take up. But kids playing sports,
you're so right. And the irony, I was thinking the same thing, and it's like to be like, no, it's for safety, and you're like, how could you can't just say safety and then be like, but minus all the school shootings and like not, you know, people who go home hungry and like you know don't have like how could you kind of even wrap your head around the kind of logic behind here? Also, most studies show very clearly most studies show very little evidence, right, that hormones are actually changing competitive sports in any kind of meaningful way. That the most likely kind of thing that will change or determine whether one competes better in sports is how rich your parents are, right? Like that's actually the kind of determining factor, because that is, if you got money, right, you get more coaches and more trainings and more workshops and like, and that's usually the kind of, you know, so the idea that they can control ideas of safety, ideas of equity in this kind of way, this is transphobia and just kind of, you know, window dressing it to mean something else, but who are we kidding?
I'd love to see what the girls that are participating in these sports think. Mine is without their parents in the room, you know, safely. But I mean, I would love to talk to those girls because I would love to sit there and say, okay, at 14 and 15, some of the girls on field hockey teams and softball teams have a lot more brute force than a lot of 14 and 15-year-old boys I've seen, you know? So I don't know if it's not a level playing field. It's not about size anymore in some sports. It's about talent. So I'd love to talk to the girls individually as a collective and not with the parents, because the parents will pollute the answers.
Well, and Sununu Jr. is just as big a schmuck as his father was. Live free or die, New Hampshire. Let's go for the latter, shall we?
Live.